my most favorite time of the week. I get to do this podcast with the Durwinator.
Hello, Mr. Iraqi Balboa.
What is going on, man? Welcome back, gamers, to another episode of the Slow Runcast. Of course, you know, my, what's the word? Something precedes me. Your something precedes you. What is it?
Reputation precedes you, right?
I
Is that
am
what
the
it is?
Iraqi Balboa. Do you want to know the story of Iraqi Balboa? Do you want to know where I got that name from? Did I tell you this story? I think I told you. Yo, what the heck happened? Your audio went out. Yeah, you unplugged your mic. We are starting this podcast to a very good start. I can't hear you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am solo right now. For those who are watching us on video, I cannot hear
Hello.
Durwin at all.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, you're back. That's funny. Don't cut that out. Don't try to save time and get that out. Where was I? I was talking about something.
Your backstory, your life story.
Okay. So my mother's uncle, so my great uncle, he was blind. He passed away. But he used to like collecting newspaper articles, which made no sense to me as a kid because I'm like, dude, you're blind. What are you reading?
Was it at
Yo,
least
I'd go. This guy would have
Braille?
like a. What? Why do you have newspaper articles? How do you even read this? I'm like, are you faking being blind? But when I tell you he's blind, he was like blind, like pitch black blind, not like legally blind, needs like whatever. No, like he was blind, and and he had an article. I was probably like maybe, I want to say maybe in 5th grade or something. So it's like 2005 or something, and he had an article from the Iraq War, right? And it was a picture of George W. Bush, and he's like doing this like boxing like motion, right, in the photo.
Mhm.
And the title of the article was "The Iraqi Balboa," right? So then I'm like, I look at this, I'm like, the hell? What the hell? How does that make any sense? He's not even Iraqi. How is he the Iraqi Balboa? If anything, he is beating up the Iraqi Balboa.
Yeah, I don't think the U.S. was ever an underdog in the Iraq War.
I'm like, that makes no sense whatsoever. But I'm like, you know what? I like that. That's gonna be my gamer tag on the 360.
Well, that's pretty funny. I have a lot of questions.
I think your audio is on your laptop.
Was
by the
it?
way.
Oh my god.
Can't hear anything.
Oh yeah, there we go. Third time's the charm.
There we go. All right. Are we recording? Let's make
Yeah,
sure.
we are.
Sweet. Finally, we got the audio figured out.
Yeah. So I have so many questions. Who
What?
is cutting these clippings for him? Because he's blind, right?
Yeah. Yo, my sister's theory is he's never blind. He's playing us. That's my sister's theory.
Was he blind when he collected these newspapers?
He's been blind. He was blind since he was like 19, 20. Or like 19 or 20 years old. Not like 19, 20, but like 19 or 20 years old, something like that. And he's probably born, I want to say probably late 30s, early 40s.
Jeez.
That's
is
probably
he
when he was born.
like
he passed away
the Iraqi daredevil?
Yo, he might be. My sister had a theory that he wasn't blind. But he also, I felt, you know how they say like when you lose a sense, you get so in tune with another sense? Have you seen like that like stereotypical like Taoist monk who's like blind, but he could like fight with a sword using his ears only? Yeah, that was like him. Dude, his ears were insane. He'll know who it is just based on the sound of your footsteps. He'll know, like he could detect like your gait, like as you walk, like the way you kind of carry yourself. He almost like can tune into who. It's so weird. It's kind of uncanny. He'll like hold your hand, you shake your hand, like we've tried it, like not talk to him and just shake his hand and be like, oh, is this? And we're like, yo, bro, you're not blind. So I don't know. Maybe this guy was like feeling out the ridges of the newspaper article, and I'm like, it's not.
So he is like the Iraqi daredevil.
He is the Iraqi daredevil. Damn. I'm the Iraqi Balboa. He's the Iraqi daredevil. Rest in peace.
What kind of superpowers do you have, Mo?
I got nothing. I don't even box. The real Iraqi Balboa should be my brother, who actually boxes, and as of recently, professionally boxes. He just had his first professional boxing fight.
Do you know basically what story you're living?
What do you mean?
You're living in Kanto. You're the one with no special powers. Oh, is essentially what's her name? Maribel, right?
Yeah, yeah. That is. I like to think of myself more of like a Batman because I have no powers.
But you aren't rich. You're rich in family values. There you go. There you go. So yeah, you're basically Maribel because Maribel was rich in her family
Yeah,
values.
yeah. You're right.
Damn,
Yeah,
damn.
yeah, yeah. I am a Disney princess. Surprised you didn't call me Jasmine.
That's racist, dude.
Princess Jasmine.
Yes, we want to see you in a blue dress. Is her
Yeah,
dress? Yeah, yeah, blue dress.
her blue dress. Yeah. Yo, that movie, I remember watching it as a kid and then being like, yo, where the hell does this take place? Like, I was like, what? Like, it made no sense, right? Because it's like very, stereotypical Orientalism.
Yeah,
Middle East is like this weird,
but then
spicy.
It's India though.
No, it's not. It's actually technically supposed to take place in Iraq.
Aladdin it did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
wow.
I could be wrong.
Well, there's
You
the
think it's
Taj Mahal.
Yeah, but it's like the
Yeah,
original
yeah.
Aladdin is kind of a different story, right?
I gotcha.
Yeah, but they're all from. To be honest with you, Aladdin, Sinbad, and Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, they're all from 1001 Nights.
Yeah, and
But
that's
that's a Middle
yeah,
East text.
yeah. And it's like
It's
1001 Nights in Arab. In
Arabia. It's
Arab,
a
something.
combination of like Persian, Indian, and Arabic stories and folklore put together.
Mm-hmm.
But the three most famous stories in it, which is Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp and and Sinbad or Sindibad in Arabic and Ali Baba, they're actually not from the original text. They were actually added by a Frenchman named Antoine Galland, based on some folk tales that he heard from Syrian storytellers. So like he was traveling the Middle East in like the 1800s or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or 1700s, and he was like, he got the 1001 Nights, like the original copy or the original text, but then he just added a few stories that he liked that he heard along the way. Somehow those became the most famous stories.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Well, the
that
more you know.
that is a
Damn.
tangent. Yeah, yeah.
What's not a tangent and what's returning to the original, I guess, country is Silent Hill F.
Silent Hill F, baby. I put this at the top of the show notes,
Yeah.
and when I did that, I was like, this is probably not the biggest story, but I'm like,
No,
I
I
don't
think
care.
it is the biggest
You think
story.
so? Oh my
Dude,
god.
this is the first time that this game is not in the US. It's in Japan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is the first time. So for those who don't know, Konami held what they call a Silent Hill transmission. This is like the third one they do since they've started to try and get back into gaming and not just be all about pachinko machines. And they revealed this game 3 years ago in 2022 in a Silent Hill transmission. They held another Silent Hill transmission this last Thursday, and you could look it up online and it's on YouTube. But where they showed off an extended trailer for Silent Hill F, which is the next game in the series, and they had like a deep dive with like the producer, the composer, one of the composers, and the writer. And the writer is his name is Rikushi7, which I don't know why his name is Rikushi7. It makes no sense. His real name is unknown. It's his pen name. And he is very famous for writing, I think, some mangas. And most notably, Higurashi When They Cry. He does a lot of horror stuff, so they got him on board to write this. But yeah, so yeah, it like Durwin said takes place in Japan. You watched the trailer, Durwin?
Yeah, I did.
What do you think?
I think it's very interesting. Again, probably not a game for me, but
Yeah,
you are playing as a Japanese schoolgirl.
yeah. I
Which
thought
is
that was.
amazing.
I did think that was an interesting choice because I'm like, well, Silent Hill traditionally, like, you have weapons. It is like a survival horror where you actually have some level of action.
Mm-hmm.
It seems weird having like this Japanese schoolgirl. Like, how is she gonna fight these demons? Is she really gonna fight them? Is it gonna be more of a psychological horror where you just Yeah. So I do have some questions about how that's gonna work because you're not gonna give this girl a shotgun or anything.
I mean, she's holding like a pipe
She is holding an
in.
iron pipe,
Yeah.
which is a pretty notable weapon in previous Silent Hills. But is she going to be exclusively using this iron pipe? Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah. I
thought the
mean,
yeah.
I think it just plays into like the whole like Japanese horror trope, like always like some sort of like schoolgirl or like I don't know. There's like strong female protagonists, you know.
Yeah, I thought the atmosphere was really cool. I don't know, I really liked it. I liked the whole, like, vibe. It takes place in the 1960s, um, and I guess the writer said he picked a female protagonist because, like, in other previous Silent Hills, he's like, the females go through, like, an immense level of trauma, but they never really get to, like, deal with it because 'cause they're, like, the side character.
Hmm.
Or they're not the person, but he wanted to like make a female protagonist who is going through some level of trauma, but put them in control. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I freaking was excited for this. Like I saw this and I'm like, I know I'm full of shit because I haven't played Silent Hill 2 yet, but
Yeah, I was gonna ask, are you gonna play this before Silent Hill 2?
yeah, but I'm not gonna make any promises. But this looks really cool, man. I like the vibe.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm glad that they're bringing back Japan. Well, they're doing Japan as a setting.
Yeah, I think it's very suitable, and I think it matches. I think it matches like the whole like the vibe is interesting. That Japanese horror, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So good for them. I don't know.
Yeah,
No
hopefully it
release
sells
date on
well.
this. What's that?
Hopefully it sells like well as
Yeah.
well as
Well,
the
Silent Hill
second
2
one. Yeah.
apparently did. So no release date on this just yet, but pre-orders went up. For whatever reason, though, I'm a little bit concerned because in Canada here, the pre-order was going up for $100, which
I
I
think it's.
thought was kind of weird.
You think so? I think it is their new stance on the pricing. I think
Dude,
we.
we just went up to 90. The like this like 2 years ago.
Yeah, but with just how things are, I
Like we're
I
going to
think
have
it is going to be $100
two
like
price hikes in the same console.
generation. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so this would make it $80 US or plus or minus or whatever if
Yeah,
it's going.
I think
Or
GTA
maybe
6
this
might
is
be the first game that will be 100, or even it might be just like some upcoming game in the next few months where we'll see our first $100 Canadian price tag.
I think this has more to do with the economy than or the Canadian currency actually. Now that I think of it than an actual price hike on games across the board cuz PS5 and
Did you
Series
look
X
at
games?
Amazon Prime US to see the pricing on this?
No. And it
Let me
wasn't
just do
on
that right
Amazon.
now.
It wasn't on Amazon Prime US for whatever or Canada for whatever
It is.
reason.
It's
On Best Buy,
so pre-order is $69.99.
which is the new standard in the US. Like everything, this console generation, it all went up to 70
Hmm.
USD. So
Yeah, it must be with the
this mu-
currency conversion
this
because
must be a currency conversion thing because right now we're at 90 for a new game,
yeah,
and there's 70 in the US.
it is.
But
So the
our
current
90,
conversion on Google is $69.99 is equal to $100 and 70 cents. So technically, we are getting a mini discount,
yeah,
being
well, I
99.
guess we were getting a larger discount when they were 90, but now
Yeah,
because the currency keeps falling, looks like it's even worse. It's
yeah,
100, which is insane. That's just we're pushing some high numbers here.
yeah. Jeez,
Yeah.
hell f. What's another upcoming game we should check?
This is the first one I've seen that's like this. You could check out Metal Gear Solid, which is also from Konami, which comes out
Oh,
this year.
it says unavailable for pre-order right now. Currently unavailable on Amazon.ca for Silent Hill
Yeah,
F.
yeah, I'm on Best Buy.
Let's see Metal Gear
Metal Gear Solid
Rising
Delta.
Delta.
It's $90
It's
also.
still $90.
So I don't know what's going on.
Another one. There was the Thing pre-order remastered PS5 that came out.
but I don't think
But
that's
that's a remaster, so it's not
it's not a full price game.
it's not a full price game. Yeah,
Is Hell Is Us? Is that up for your pre-order, or Borderlands 4?
Is
Because those come out in like
Us.
September.
Hell is Us is not. Borderlands 4 probably won't be either.
Yeah.
They're too far out.
What about that Directive 20 or something like that? That game? No, can't find it. Yeah, I don't know.
Directive 8020, yeah, not
Trump, Trump, trying to make our games expensive. Trump.
that's gonna be rough.
Yeah, I'm thinking if these games are going up this much, how much is this upcoming Xbox handheld that's being done in collaboration with Asus? How much is that going to cost in Canadian dollars?
How much is the Asus ROG Ally? I don't think they would price it more than that. And that's like $1,000 Canadian.
Asus
That's still pretty crazy.
ROG Ally. Anyway, yeah.
Well, so Ally X, right, is 1,000.
So we did mention this story last week, and we talked about it a little bit, but we've gotten a little bit more information. It seems like it's all but confirmed that we're going to have this Xbox handheld that's coming out this year. It's almost like a regular laptop that you buy, a PC that's either built by Dell or by Acer, Asus, or Lenovo or whatever. But the software inside is Microsoft, right? So that's what it seems like this is. It's going to be Xbox branded and everything. There's going to be Xbox logos on it, probably an Xbox home button, but it's going to be built by Asus. And then in 2 years' time, when the new Xbox console comes out, which we've been hearing is going to be more of like a PC, which they're going to open up to Steam and Epic Game Store and maybe GOG. So alongside that, we're going to have an actual Microsoft built piece of hardware, which is going to be a handheld. I'm just curious, like what I really want to pick your brain on this. What do you think about all this? Like releasing this year and then 2 years releasing another one that's actually built by you guys?
I feel like they're very like hands off for this. Like
yeah. But what is the point of this thing? This seems weird. Is it just the branding? You just want to brand? Because can an Asus ROG Ally and a Lenovo Legion Go? Can't those both play Xbox Game Pass already?
Yeah,
those are Microsoft.
They're basically just running Windows.
They're running Windows. You could please at least play PC Game Pass on them, right? So what's the point of this?
Yeah, I'm interested to see like the special features. I mean, it's probably just gonna have like the Xbox integration, which is like, I guess, also like technically available on PC anyways. Like if you press like the Xbox button on the controller, it'll bring up like the Xbox hub. So like, I don't know what would be too different about this. I honestly think I'm thinking of this as like an ROG Ally, but it's like a limited edition run with the Xbox branding on it. That's what I'm thinking it is.
That's what I'm thinking too, but what's the point of that? And what's it going to cost? It seems weird to have this and it's going to cost more than a Series X because that's what these things cost. They cost more than a Series X.
Yeah.
Like the reason why I haven't bought one of these is because they just seem way too pricey.
Yeah, but the hardware in them is pretty good, and like you have to work in like development costs and stuff like that, right? It's definitely harder.
They're not selling them at a loss either, like a console.
They won't be selling these at a loss, right? I don't know. I think it's gonna be hard to justify, unless there's some sort of like special like feature to them, or if they sell it as like a limited edition product.
Especially considering now Steam wants to put their OS on everything as well. So that Steam OS is now going to be on these, right? Remember we talked about this at the start of the year from CES. It's going to be on one of these. It was either the Asus or the Lenovo.
Yeah, like they're opening it up so that hopefully their OS can just run on like any sort of handheld,
exactly,
or like PC.
Yeah, so I might as well just buy something that has both Steam and Microsoft Store. I don't know, and Game Pass. Just seems very weird to me. I wonder what it's going to cost.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be cheap by any means.
Yeah, I've been really wanting to get into that handheld world for a while now, but I feel like I keep holding off because I'm like the Steam Deck was the thing that interested me the most. But my issue with the Steam Deck is because I want to play a lot of games on Game Pass. That inability to do that kind of like pushed me away. And then these other ones I feel like are too expensive. Then you got the Switch, which I don't want to play third-party games on the Switch, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
And some of them aren't even on the Switch. I mean, I'd really kill for PlayStation freaking handheld, but so I don't know. I've been on the fence. I've been kind of trying to test the waters and see like what is the thing where, because I don't want to be like an early adopter, to be honest with you, and I'm not because these things have really picked off. But this doesn't seem that interesting.
Yeah, I'm more interested to see the like actual Xbox created handheld,
Especially
and
since
not just a partnership.
considering it's only 2 years out, right? It's not that far away. But if this thing's gonna be like $800, I'm gonna buy it, and then 2 years they're gonna have the official one.
Yeah,
Seems
you're
very
basically paying like $400 a year to use it, and like,
seems weird.
I don't know.
What do you think about their new console and word on the street it basically being a PC with some Xbox interface and meant to be, easily, you don't have to build it, integrate on like how much is this thing going to cost? First of all, if it's going to be a PC. Word on the street it's going to run Steam. It'll have
Yeah,
Steam and Unreal Engine on it. So it'll just be a PC. It'll probably have Windows
yeah.
on it.
Then you're basically just buying a a subsidized PC,
Is it going to be
essentially.
subsidized? Like at this
You're
point,
thinking that it's not?
Xbox has gone third party. They're putting everything everywhere. Why would they subsidize a console? Right now, their consoles are not selling. You're gonna make
Yeah,
a
that's true.
PC.
Because the whole point of that was like you sell your console at a slight loss so that people will just buy games specifically for your console, right?
And it's
But
not
if they
working.
also create the games,
It's
hmm,
not. Yeah, it's not working, and they put their games on PlayStation. Like, what's the point? I feel like this is like they're just dragging their feet until they're like, yeah, we're done making consoles. I just
yeah,
feel like it's this like where they're gonna keep dragging feet. Like it's done. I think they lost the console war. They haven't lost the gaming war. I think they're making some pretty good power moves, but
I
who's
think the more important question is how much are you willing to pay for a console, right?
yeah, at that point depends on like what it has. I mean, the only thing that I think an Xbox has over everything else at PCs, consoles alike, maybe except for the Switch, is like quick resume. Because the Switch also kind of has that to some extent. Well, not really.
Yeah,
Actually,
the Xbox Quick Resume is actually
you
really
could
cool though.
you could switch
I do
between
like
games,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's gonna happen with like the Series S thing? I don't think they're gonna make another Series S. If they are, it's gonna be the handheld thing.
Yeah, it it doesn't make sense for. I think it causes a lot of headaches, but it also like it's hard to see like long term vision. Like
Yeah.
it does make sense that they did do a Series S if they're gonna get into a handheld which has less power, so it like forces these developers to like learn how to create their games to run on like lower performing hardware and run well on lower performing hardware, which I was actually an advocate for. So,
They sold
yeah,
a lot of I think they sold a lot of Series S's, especially for those
yeah,
first 2-3 years. But yeah. I don't know, man. Here's a thought though. If the next generation Xbox console has Steam OS on it, could you then not play every single Sony first party game that has come to Steam and Epic Game Store on your Xbox? And then would there no longer technically be an exclusive on the PlayStation that's not on the Xbox? Food for thought.
yeah. I love that meme that you sent me actually.
One.
The one where it's like, yeah, we'll just name our console like a PlayStation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy was talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And he was just talking about like, yeah, technically, like, yeah, you could just buy a PC and it would just basically be both.
Yeah. Then you'd have
I think it's that period of exclusivity that will keep people buying a PS5 and potentially the price.
Sure, because this period of exclusivity seems to be shrinking every
Mm-hmm.
year. Spider-Man 2 just came a year after. You know what I mean? This isn't like when God of War came out like 4.5 years after it came out on PS4. These are getting pumped out pretty quickly, right onto PC.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are like, I can't even keep track of how many PC ports there are for some of these games. But a lot of the multiplayer ones, the live service ones, they're day and day on PC.
Yeah,
Concord
that's
was
true.
day and day on PC. Helldivers was day and day on PC. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of uncertainty. It's gonna be interesting how this
Yeah,
how
the
this all
next
shapes up.
few, like next generation, still there might still be like that gap, but then the one after that might be a very interesting
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, there's
concept.
a lot of questions about cloud gaming, a lot of questions about disk drives. I think disk drives are done.
Yeah,
Like, maybe I think Xbox isn't gonna have the next Xbox won't have a disk drive at all.
yeah.
They released some of their first party games without discs?
Well, the white Xbox
Doesn't even have
Series
it.
X doesn't have a disk drive,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
it does have like a 2 terabyte drive. Was that the gimmick for it?
I think it was 1 terabyte, and then there was another one that was like a blackish that had 2 terabytes and a drive or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, lots of questions about cloud gaming, subscription services, Steam OS being on multiple things,
Well, Xbox could
exclusives.
also just like reverse action depending on like how well their exclusive, like how well their games are selling, right?
I don't
They
think
could
they
just be
will.
like, "We're doing good now. We'll reverse and have these games specifically on Xbox." I don't see it happening, but it is a possibility still if their games are selling well.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting
Another
stuff.
another thing that is going to be changing potentially or game changing for the industry is Copilot is now available.
Did you see this? So
Yeah.
Copilot. So Copilot is this thing that Xbox just announced. It is an AI that helps players finish games, and it provides like situation specific tips during gameplay. This is just ridiculous.
PS5 already has something like that.
And nobody uses it. Do you use it? PS5
No.
PS5 had that on launch. It
Yeah,
was like that.
you need to have PS Plus to access it though, right?
Yeah, it was like tip. What did they call it? Tips.
Yeah, something like
And it
that.
only works for specific games. Usually, first party games will give you like a tips as to how to finish something. I've
Yeah, yeah.
never used it before. Those aren't AI though. I think those are actually like written out.
Yeah, those are written out. Yeah, but
Yeah, this is just like,
this is funny. They're literally getting AI to learn how to game so that we don't have to game anymore.
I'm like, yeah, let an AI help you finish a game. AI sidekick designed to be a personalized gaming companion. Get to their favorite games faster. What the heck? They had a whole like little. Did you see the little video? They had like a 30-minute video talking about it
Hmm.
on the Xbox YouTube page. Yeah, Copilot for gaming. Weird, man.
Yeah, what an interesting time to be a gamer.
This this is kind of concerning for like outlets that write guides, right?
Yeah,
Like the
or like
IGNs and
strategy
stuff like that,
guides.
strategy guys like Polygon and IGN or whatever.
Hmm.
But because like if you could just like figure stuff out with an AI if it gets good enough, no one's going to those guide pages anymore, right?
Hmm.
And those guide pages actually bring in a lot of traffic to these outlets. Like a lot of people go to those outlets for the guides,
Yeah,
not for news or for videos or for anything else or reviews. Like they go there for guides specifically. So it brings in a lot of traffic to those websites.
yeah, or even like so I don't really like use the guides as much, but the trophy walkthroughs,
Yes. Yeah.
yes, like those are huge for certain sites. However, they are also still on YouTube. Like PowerPix is like one that I definitely like trust for like trophy walkthroughs. Um,
Because some trophies are hidden and you don't get it.
yeah,
You don't know what it is. Even if you reveal it, you can't tell what it is from the description. But someone's
yeah,
figured it out. So you could, yeah.
yeah, basically, right? So then if like AI is doing that and able to figure it all out, then like those sites and those channels would basically be useless. Because why would you specifically have a different device open just for a guide when you can have Copilot running and helping you, right?
Yeah, we got some more AI stories as we go down the list here, but I'm starting to get worried for my own career, bro. On Friday,
Yeah,
I sat there like on AutoCAD, which is like a
engineering
engineering drawing
slash
software.
drawing.
I was working on Civil 3D, and I sat there like click, 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 click for the whole 8 hours of the day. And then I thought, I'm like, yo, dude, what if they train a freaking computer model to do this? Like, I'm done. I literally won't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally no reason for me to be sitting here doing click, 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 and doing this design and doing trial and error when the AI could just run all the trial and error and figure out all the pipe conflicts and get it all sorted. And I'm just
Yeah,
sitting there like, bro, and like it could do all the calculations and it could. And I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna have a job in 20 years.
yeah, it's scary for
And then,
sure.
and then I was with I was talking to my coworker,
Uh-huh.
and I told him, and he's Filipino, and I told him, yo, bro, you should have just been a nurse, and I should have just been a nurse like my wife, because they're not gonna displace us right away.
Oh man, I don't know about that, man.
You
Who's
don't,
it?
but
The Minister of Health down in the States wants to replace nurses with AI. So,
how though? You need robots,
dude,
physical robots. No,
you
I
gotta
feel like
ask
there's
him, man. He's the man with the plan.
I feel like there's a difference for if you're sitting on a computer, I could see your job being replaced by AI,
Hmm.
right? But and depending on what you do on a computer, I could see your job being replaced by AI. But like if you're doing something physical, AI is not going to replace construction workers anytime soon.
I mean, you say that, but AI has replaced a lot of factory workers. Like, what's the? I
Oh,
mean, I
good
guess
point.
you have to like talk about the differences between like having a flat like warehouse floor that can be easily laid out versus like a
Yeah,
construction site. But
yeah. That's just worrisome, bro. Worrisome. Anyway, I will not be using Copilot for gaming program. Will
yes,
you?
I will also not be using that. But uh you know what else has me kind of worried that I
I don't know
texted you
why you're worried
about?
about this. I don't know why you're worried about this.
I don't know what I was thinking about in my mind, but
I'm
so
actually happy for this. I think this is very good news.
I mean, we'll see what hardware is, but so Switch 2, we finally have kind of like a estimated price point from Bloomberg. But its expected cost $400 plus. And even with that price point, analysts are predicting that it's going to be one of the biggest console launches ever.
So the original Switch on in the US launched at 300 US dollars. So they're saying it's going to cost at least 400 US dollars, right? So $100 USD markup, but it could be more because of US tariffs.
Yeah, yeah. So I was worried about this because I was like, oh man, like I really wanted it to be like slightly cheaper. But you said no. Derwin, what are you talking about? You're dumb. Like this is like expected. And I was just being optimistic because I really wanted it to be like a similar launch price to the original Switch, but it looks
Yeah, man,
like
look at the launch prices for everything. Look at the
yeah,
cost of everything. They're not going to give you a console for 300 USD.
yeah,
That was like
yeah,
450 here in Canada or 400 for the longest time.
yeah. Well, let's do some basic quick uh conversion. So 300, so
I
400
was afraid it
USD
would
to
be
CAD.
500. To be honest with you, I want it to be more expensive. You know why? Because then I'll be more rest assured that there's actually good hardware in there. Like
Yeah,
if it's coming
or
out of
Nintendo
300,
pulls a Nintendo and they give you like garbage hardware for a higher price.
that too. I was like afraid. I'm like, yo, bro, if this thing's like 300 USD, it's gonna be garbage.
Yeah, so so 400 USD right now is converting to 575. So I have a feeling this is going to be a $600
They usually give us a
console.
break. They might be do 550 or
I
something.
don't know, man.
550 is fine with me. Maybe
That's
it's
still fine for you?
that's fine for me. But again, I'm hobbyist. We're in this. We do it every day. We're always buying hardware and software or whatever,
Yeah, you know what? I say this like, oh, it's so expensive, I'm not gonna buy it, and then
I'm
I
gonna
turn
buy
around and I buy something stupid, and
I'm gonna buy it. Yeah,
probably
exactly.
gonna be the
$600, I buy it. If it's more than 600, I'm gonna be like,
dude for
I bought a
600.
PS5 5 years ago for 630. This thing's already 600.
Yeah, and at that point, like realistically, we own multiple consoles, right? So you add that price of the Switch, you add the price of a PS5,
Yeah.
you might as well build a PC almost.
If this thing has good enough hardware in it that I feel like it can be my handheld console that I've been meaning to get into, then I'm gonna be happy. Like if I get the Switch 2 and it ergonomically feels good, which I don't think it will based on the
Oh,
video we
I
saw.
I really doubt
Yeah.
it feels good for
It,
long term gaming. But
yeah,
you
it
can always
looks
buy like some sort of adapter for it,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So
Like
I
I
was
have one
like,
for my Switch.
yeah, like you could get like
Yeah, like
Joy-Cons that
a
actually work.
joypad basically. So this, well, I have one in the next room, but I'm not gonna go grab it right now. But yeah, it's just it's controllers, and then you just like slide the Switch in, and then it acts as like a full size gamepad basically.
Yeah. If it has a good enough battery life, if it has a good enough, and the Switch had really good battery life, and if it has good enough power, and if a lot of third-party games are on it and run sufficiently decent, so they don't feel like, oh, why am I playing this on this? I should be playing it on a PS5, which we've been hearing rumors that a lot of games are coming to Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I buy it and I like it. It could just be my handheld console, and I won't feel the need to buy anything else. If not, I'll still buy it for the Nintendo exclusives, and then I'll go buy a Steam Deck.
Jeez.
Switch
Yeah, I
2.
don't know. I think 550 is kind of rough. I don't know if I'll buy it launch day. I might try and wait for some sort of sale or some sort of bundle.
You're not, bro.
Dude, I've played Mario Kart like maybe a handful of times. I'm not like, if the launch title is Mario Kart, I'm not interested. And especially if you buy one, then I mean, I'll just play around with yours. I'm not gonna like go out and buy it specifically for Mario Kart. You know?
Derwin, can we go back
But
to the predictions episode
Pokemon.
at the start of the year? Can I add a prediction to my
Sure.
predictions for the start of the year? My prediction is the Nintendo Switch 2 will be a minimum of $550 Canadian, and Derwin will buy it on day one.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
not.
not
I'm
gonna
not.
see. It's legit. It's legit, bro. You're buying it.
It's a lot of money.
No, it's not.
I feel
What
like it
again?
is. Like, what is it? A PS5 is what, 700 right now?
Base one is like 660 Canadian.
hundred
But
dollars
if
more,
it
and you get a
runs
PS5.
the games, if it actually has sufficient hardware to run games decently, what's the worry? That's when I'll be like, okay, this is worth it. If it's 550 and freaking Bayonetta 3 won't work on the only console it exists on, I agree. Throw that thing in the trash. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If it's 550 and Hyrule Warriors is chugging at 10 frames a second, throw it in the trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if we've heard rumors that Metal Gear Solid Delta is going to be on the Switch too. We've heard rumors that Age of Mythology, Microsoft Flight Sim, how, you know, we've heard rumors about a bunch of stuff coming to Switch too.
Mm-hmm.
So if it could run them, that's fine. Like I'm okay with buying a Steam Deck. So I sure as hell be okay with buying a Switch 2 that could run games for that same price. And because look at the other handhelds, like look how much the other handhelds cost.
Yeah.
If you want to get into handheld gaming, right?
Okay, but the
Plus,
only other caveat is also I would want to wait for an OLED screen. If
that
it
I
doesn't come with an
agree.
OLED screen, oh man, I don't know,
That
man.
I agree. If it doesn't have an OLED screen, I'm gonna be a little bit pissed off. If they're gonna charge me more for an OLED screen, just make it two different iterations of the Switch 2 on launch. I'll pay for the more expensive one. But if it comes out on an LSD screen, bro,
Yeah, I've experienced like the wonders of OLED now. I can't go back, man.
that
Like
OLED
I've got
screen on the Switch 2 was way too was too good, man.
yeah, I've got OLED. I've got OLED monitors. My Switch is an OLED Switch. I've got like my iPad, which is also like the tandem OLED. Like those blacks, man.
Yeah, like remember when the Switch OLED version came out and like up to the lead up to it, all the industry analysts were talking about like a Switch Pro. It was going to be a Switch Pro. It was going to be more powerful, and then it just came out and it was just a
Switch
screen.
OLED.
Yeah,
I bought that like almost day one.
So you bought a Switch OLED day one, but you won't buy Switch 2 day one. It's kind of weird.
I also traded in my old Switch, so like it wasn't like that big of a price gap.
I'm curious to see, man. Is there going to be a third 3D Mario? If there's a 3D Mario, holy smokes! Metroid Prime 4 apparently is launch day, or I don't know if it's going to be launch day, but it's this year.
I think that would be a title to entice me to buy like
Metroid Prime 4 and 3D Mario. Oh, bro,
I don't know about 3D Mario.
Come on, bro. Another Odyssey, Odyssey 2, Mario Galaxy 3.
We'll see. We'll stay in the same vein of Nintendo-esque news stories. Pokemon Go and the rest of Niantic's game business is being sold to Monopoly Go maker Scopelli for $3.5 billion.
So we reported this a couple of weeks ago. Do you remember?
Yeah. You were giving me the rundown on the Saudi Arabia backed gaming.
Yeah, and these are the people who bought them. Scopely doesn't say here in the article for whatever reason from VGC, but that is who Scopely is. It's owned by the Saudi Crown Fund. And I didn't realize they were. Wait, what? No. Hold up. There's something going on here, man. Who owns this company? This is not the same company that we were in talks. This is United States. Oh, it's a subsidiary of a Saudi Arabian company, Savvy Group Games. Okay, makes sense.
There you go. You just layer it enough and people might not notice.
Ogres are like onions.
Yeah.
You have to peel the layers off. That was terrible. Did you see Shrek 4? Did you see that Shrek 4 freaking trailer? Or the
Zendaya is Shrek 4 as his daughter.
Yeah, so Scopely, it's an American company, but it's owned by Saudi Arabian company Savvy Group Games. Have you played Monopoly Go? I've heard good things about it, but I heard it's
no. But shout out to Kristen St. Gelay. She is addicted to Monopoly Go. I've only seen her like play it when like I was working with her for some of her flu clinics, and like I'm just like, this is crazy how much time people spend on this Monopoly like mobile game.
I heard it was pretty heavily monetized too, like hard.
It's heavily monetized.
It's bad. Yeah. So I don't know. Thoughts? Pokemon Go? Have you been playing Pokemon Go? I haven't touched Pokemon Go since 2019.
No, it was like such a phenomena, and then like they tried to like do this for like so many different IPs, and then nothing was like as crazy.
So, Pokemon Go story time. I have my friend in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, Hosni Marcos. He owns the Selena Donaire. I'm putting him on blast right now. He's not going to hear this. He doesn't know anything about games. He's a full grown. He's an adult male, not like me. He's not a man child. Except for this, everybody plays games. They say they don't play games, but they do. So, closes up the restaurant one day, late at night, 11 o'clock. What does he do before he goes home? He goes play some Pokemon Go, right?
Okay.
Hops in his truck, goes to like, you know how there's specific locations, I can't remember, like
gyms like raid locations or gyms or
So he goes to the church that's beside the beside his Donaire restaurant. It's fun. It's crazy how like a lot of people game and they don't realize it, but this guy was heavy into Pokemon Go. I'm talking heavy. This guy was a heavy Pokemon Go player. He would take his son around to play it, right? And then eventually he's just playing it himself. Playing Pokemon Go by the church. Whatever. Next day, gets a call from the police. We want you to come to the police station. What's going on? What's going on? We need to ask you some questions. They have a recording, CCTV footage of him at the church. There's a woman that walks behind his truck, right? In the parking lot and continues going. They're like, this is the last known footage of this woman before she got murdered last night. And we want to ask you some questions. What were you doing there late at night, sitting in your car like that? Blah, 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 blah.
Dude, I pray that he bought some like paid stuff so that it corroborates his story.
Well, he got out of it eventually. Obviously, they realized it wasn't him, but he had to explain to them, I'm playing Pokemon Go. And, like, imagine telling a police officer you're playing Pokemon Go at 11 p.m. in some, like, freaking dinky church parking lot, right? Right?
Dude, it's not crazy.
A good look. It's not a good look, right? So that's wild, bro. This woman got murdered after that footage that same night. And wild stuff, man. Like, imagine going to jail for Pokemon Go, bro. Dude. Falsely convicted for Pokemon Go.
That's wild. Maybe you need to be paying a little bit of money every single few minutes you're playing that game.
That's crazy.
Jeez.
Anyway, I wonder what's going to happen to the monetization of that game. But it's everything Niantic. It's all being sold. What other games are there? That's Monster Hunter.
Dude, they have a lot. So they have like, what's it called?
What's the
Monster Hunter Now, which is also like very similar to that. They also have like Scrabble Go, apparently. Yeah, they have a lot of stuff. I thought they had more too. I thought they had a Game of Thrones one too.
They did.
Harry Potter, Wizards Unite.
Yeah.
Pikmin Bloom. Catan World Explorers. Yeah. A big concern for a lot of people is their location data is now going to be sold to them as well.
Good point.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm sure a lot of it is like useless information.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you went to so many places just to catch some Pokemon.
Some Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on if it like secretly records your information every single day, wherever you are. But yeah.
Okay, my question is, who's the developer of Pokemon TCG Pocket?
I have no idea, but that is definitely a way better game. Denaco Limited, Creatures Inc.
Okay,
so it actually is like Creatures Inc. I think is like
is direct subsidiary.
Yeah, it's like
Pokemon
Game
Company.
Freak. Yeah,
interesting. Anyway, that is Pokemon Go. This next story, or these next three stories. Okay, I want to talk about this. Okay.
All right, go for it.
I got some stories about Disco Elysium. Do you know what Disco Elysium is?
No.
You've never heard of Disco Elysium?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, Disco Elysium is a game from 2019. It is a self-published indie game from Zaum Development Studio, which is, I believe, where is that? Somewhere in Eastern Europe, exactly. Might be reading Estonia here. Okay. This game is like a top-down RPG, right? Isometric RPG, deep dialogue trees, lots of tabletop role-playing type thing. From what I know, it got very good reviews when it came out in 2019. I think it won an award at the Game Awards. It's 91 on Metacritic. Critic rating, like bunch of outlets gave it 10 out of 10s. Very, very good game by all. Yeah. So at the Game Awards 2019, it won the best narrative, best independent game, best role playing game, and what at the time was called best fresh indie game. So won a bunch of other awards that year. So after this game comes out, 2019, Zaum starts working on some other project. By 2021, there's a report that some of the core members involuntarily left the company. I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole because personally, I don't even understand this rabbit hole, even though I've watched videos about it. It turns into a legal proceeding shit show and it spirals out of control. People are getting fired, people leave, people quit, people make their own spin-off studios. This person's suing this person. It just it just exponentially butterfly effects out of control, right? If you're really interested in the story, it's a crazy story. I would recommend like looking into it, right? You read the Wikipedia, go online and talk about or go on YouTube and see some videos. There must be some videos out there, somebody explaining the situation, right? So I just want to talk about these 3 stories because this is the situation right now. Zaum as a studio still exists. The people that work there are not the same people, especially the heads are not the same people that worked on Disco Elysium. They have just announced their new game, which is a psychedelic sci-fi. They're calling it espionage RPG thriller. Okay. There's a quick little, it's like mostly concept art, quick little trailer and some narrative. So cool. And keep in mind, this also happened in October. Anytime this studio like announces something, there's now 3 competing studios with ex-Zaum people. And they all are like super petty, so they all drop their announcements at the same time. As soon as this happens, there's a new studio called Long Do. They're working on a spiritual successor for Disco Elysium. Kickstarter launches soon. They drop like a teaser trailer that like same week, that same day. It's almost like they timed it. This game's called Hope Town. Back in October, a similar story happened where 3 studios simultaneously in the same week said, we're making the new Disco Elysium spiritual successor. The situation as of right now, I'm going to read just the bottom of the Wikipedia right now. After leaving Zaum, Kurvitz and Rostov launched Red Info in 2023. The development studio to work on a spiritual successor to Disco Elysium. 3 separate studios, each with some former members of Zaum, announced simultaneously in October 2024 that they're working on spiritual successors. One studio, Long Do, which we just mentioned, which includes developers from Bungie and Rockstar Games, and Zaum alumni. The other studio is Dark Math Games, which includes one of the developers. His name's Kender, and some other Zaum developers. They named it. They announced their game titled XXX Night Shift, and the third studio, Summer Eternal. Includes Disco Elysium writer Argo and Oliga and other senior developers. So we have Red Info, Long Do, Dark Math, Summer Eternal, and then Zaum itself. 5 studios have spiraled out of this game. And from what I understand, I think the main writer and the main artist on Disco Elysium are actually not on one of these studios. Crazy. I'm really curious to see how that happened.
That's some crazy fallout. If you have like that many studios that are working on spiritual successors.
5 studios working on spiritual successors. Also, Zaum, which was the core studio, has announced that Disco Elysium is coming to mobile to captivate the TikTok user. They've basically made a real version of this game, like Instagram Reels or like TikTok videos.
Really?
Yes. Look at this trailer. It's insane. Like they've made it like for like low attention span, like kids to just like flip through the story
like this
on Reels. It's crazy. I haven't even played Disco Elysium, and I've been hearing about the story for years, and I'm so passionately like following it. I might just pop Disco Elysium right now and just try it.
I love the pettiness though.
It's insane. 5 development studios, bro. The thing is, if you actually read the full story, you could see where the pettiness is from. Like people trying to take over IP rights, people suing people getting fired. royalties. Well, it's always IP, bro. Always IP.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you own the brand, then you have you have something to sell to people, right? So
Anyway, that is Disco Elysium. Some more fun news from our favorite publisher, Ubisoft. I have 4 articles over here that I put in here, and I'm like, I don't really know what Ubisoft's doing. There's like conflicting information on what's going on internally, but I'm gonna just read the titles of these 4 articles and I'm gonna just let you guys decide what you think. Ubisoft shareholder claims company failed to disclose meetings with EA and Microsoft about IP acquisitions. This is from Insider Gaming. So apparently, there's some guy who doesn't even own, I don't even know, he owns like a 1% stake, AJ Investments. And he basically said the company didn't appropriately communicate that they're literally in talks with EA
yeah, and
and
Microsoft about
Microsoft
selling their IP. That's
sell their
crazy.
IP or two. It's like, folks, it's done. I think we've been talking about this since we started this podcast, me and you, late last year. It's done. I don't see how Ubisoft's going to come out of this. They're going to drop. I don't think Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to save them. They're
No.
already like, yeah.
I mean, it seems like Assassin's Creed Shadows is a pretty solid game though. But I don't.
It
Yeah,
does,
again,
but yeah. So that's one article. Another article from GameStop. I'm not sure if this is the same GameSpot. Sorry. Yeah, this is the AJ Investments. He says Ubisoft is horribly managed. Yeah, and that's the claims for EA and Microsoft might buy franchises. So that's the same thing. Then word on the street. This is also from Insider Gaming later in the week. Ubisoft seeking investors for new entity. The hell does that mean? They're making a spin-off company? They're going to just...
They're going to make 5 different companies from the same company.
This is actually a report from Bloomberg, right? It's just being kind of regurgitated here on Insider Gaming. This is from Friday. Bloomberg says the company is considering selling a minority stake in the venture and has contacted potential bidders. These bidders include Tencent. Oh, great.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And some other companies in France. So, yeah, Ubisoft has asked for preliminary bids to be made as soon as this month. And the people are asking not to be identified, discussing a private matter. Someone's court. Yeah, I don't know what this new entity means. Like, there's some, they're going to break this up. This company, I think some IPs are going to get sold. Maybe Ubisoft itself's going to downsize. Maybe it's going to get bought out. I don't know. Yeah. And then this last article from VGC, which is kind of the same thing. Ubisoft is reportedly considering a Tencent-backed future for Assassin's Creed and more. Yeah.
Jeez. Well, it seems like they're working on some sort of like backdoor deals.
Yeah, I don't know. This Gumo family just needs to get out. They're just holding on to dear life. They've managed this company to garbage. It's insane, man. Ubisoft is such like a household name in video game development. Like, you think about all the games, especially from like the 360 era and stuff like that. Yeah, this is just not wild. Stay tuned to find out more. I'm sure we'll have some more information.
Yeah, give it a few more months.
Yeah, it'll be all clear how this is going to go.
Yeah, especially after the drop of Shadows.
Shadows is going to tell us all. I think give it a week after Shadows drops. Let's see what these review embargoes are. Let's see, Assassin's Creed Shadows review embargo.
And when is their Q1 earnings? They already had their Q1 earnings, I think.
Dude, tomorrow, the embargo. Tomorrow.
Really? Okay, so then
10 a.m. Pacific. So let's see what those reviews are. Yeah, 10 a.m. Pacific. So that's 11 our time. We're gonna know.
Q3 sales happened already. That was February 13th, 2025. So they probably won't have another investor / shareholder meeting for a little bit.
Yeah, till after this, we'll know. We talked about AI at the top of the show, but I thought I'd want to mention there's about the SAG-AFTRA actor strike. It's to continue as union warns of alarming loopholes for AI abuse in the latest proposal.
I think the biggest story from this week for AI wise was the not
Halo.
Aloy, Aloy, the Aloy AI video.
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to see it before they took it down. Did you?
no, but we talked about this last week. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like it's just a continuation of that because what was her name? The
Laura
actress that
Bailey.
yeah.
I wonder how Laura Bailey feels about that.
Well,
This is
she came out on
did she?
Instagram to speak about it.
Because that was a leak. That wasn't supposed to come out.
Yeah, it wasn't. But they essentially like contacted her to like let her know like we did not use any of or no, Ashley Birch. She came out.
It's Ashley
She's
Birch. Laura Bailey's sorry. Laura Bailey's another.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Ashley Birch. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, Ashley Birch came out on I think Instagram and just said that, Sony did like talk to her after that and like explain that they didn't use any of her like previously recorded stuff in order to create that demo, etc., etc. But yeah, it just speaks to like how far these companies are trying to use AI to create games.
Yeah. It's worrisome. I don't know, man. This is more AI talk. Like eventually are these I mean, listen, from an economic perspective, if you could get an AI to be a voice actor, why hire a voice actor?
Yeah,
Make
why
more profit.
pay people for any of this stuff?
You make more profit. It is concerning, man. I don't know. And there was also this other report from the smaller indie game. Voice actors accuse indie studio of trying to replace their work with AI voices. Uh,
I
yeah.
think also in terms of like the
This
movie
is
aspect, what is it? I was reading something like really quick. I didn't do too deep of a dive, so don't hold me to this, but like there was only like a select few movies last year that didn't use some sort of AI or something like that.
yeah. And then there's Call of Duty, which I think was confirmed that they got rid of the voice actors for zombies and they swapped them out with
Mhm.
AI. Wasn't that confirmed or something like that? Not too long ago.
Yeah, something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, a whole bunch of movies used AI. So like here in 2024, The Brutalist, Amelia Perez, Furiosa, The Wild Robot, Afraid, Where Robots Grow,
Where robots grow
Bliss,
too.
The Creator, Ex Machina. That's
That's
crazy.
like everything, bro.
Yeah. What did
Yeah.
so The
What did they use
Brutalist
it for?
won a few Oscars. So they used AI to alter actors' voices, specifically the Hungarian accents. That's wow.
I don't know how I feel about this, man. Yeah. You want to move on to some better news?
Yeah, let's do that. This is what I was super also excited for.
Yeah. Me, not so much, because I feel like this is a very long run article, but I'm like, what are you even offering here? But you could take it from here.
Yeah, so PlayStation had announced some little special treats for God of War fans. It's the 20th anniversary, so they've put out a bunch of little merch updates. You can buy like the World Snake in a plush form. They have some new shirts. But the most notable is we have some new skins coming to God of War Ragnarok.
Yes. Specifically Ragnarok, not 2018.
Yeah, yeah.
And these are
And some also like new weapon cosmetics, but they're all based on some of the older games, right? So the black and gold theme going
yeah, it is
on.
specifically based on
God of War 2,
it's a
right?
black and white theme skin that you could get for Kratos from God of War 2 as a reward for beating the game on God mode difficulty. So yeah, you could if you go on PlayStation blog, this is called Celebrate God of War's 20th anniversary with God of War Dark Odyssey collection.
Mm-hmm.
They show you what the skins look like for Atreus, for Freya, and for Kratos himself. The one for Kratos looks fire, bro.
Yeah. He looks real angry in that. That's crazy. The weapons, I don't know. Did you really find like you noticed a lot of the appearance changes for the weapons whenever you changed weapons? Other than the shield, of course.
I did, yeah, I did. I would. You could do this thing in God of War where you could give the attributes of a specific attachment to your
Mm-hmm.
weapon, but leave the cosmetic a certain thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of the armors I didn't like, so I would run with a specific armor, but I like the stats for another armor, so I would
And use that.
I'd use that.
Yeah, the clothes I think are obviously the more obvious ones. I didn't really notice the special appearances for some of the weapons. Obviously, there's like some standouts, but some of them kind of looked like pretty generic to me.
Yeah.
I'm liking this like black and gold theme going on for some of the weapons, though, especially the shields.
Yeah, it looks really good. Then there's also this 20th anniversary fan kit. Did you download this thing? It's just a bunch of like Twitch
Behind the
banners
scenes.
and mobile phone wallpapers and stuff like that with the same themes. You could just download
Yeah,
it.
I'm not a big fan of like changing my icons and stuff, so I probably won't download it at all.
There's gonna be like a PSN avatar.
Yeah.
Then they have this 20th anniversary gallery nucleus exhibition, which takes place from Saturday, March 15th to Sunday, March 23rd at the in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, Gallery Nucleus in LA.
Yeah. Share the pieces featured from current Santa Monica associate art director Della Longfish. Yeah.
They also have the 20th anniversary retrospective.
That is the most exciting. That's the thing I'm excited about.
Are you buying this?
You know me, I love art books and I love guidebooks and stuff like that. Even if I don't actually read them and they just sit there, but I really
Dude, so you know what I found that piqued my interest a little bit? So I was looking at the Persona 5 art book on Amazon. I'm like scrolling down. And did you know that Street Fighter has like a Sports Illustrated like art book?
Yeah.
I was looking at that. I was like, wow, this is peak waifu.
Yeah, and there's some pretty crazy waifus on it. Yeah. No, I've seen that before.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was a thing, and I was just like, wow, man, they think of everything for Street Fighter.
Yeah, I have the art books for God of War 1 and 2, or God of War 2018 and Ragnarok.
Yep. So this is a pretty likely cop for you, it seems.
Yeah, this and this new Metroid Prime, the making of book, which looks really good.
Yeah. Pre-orders are tomorrow though, so
yeah,
make sure you have that in your calendar.
Yeah, it's not out yet. There's also some print collection, which also pre-orders are available tomorrow. I don't know. Are these supposed to be like postcards or something?
Yeah, it looks like it, or just like art prints almost.
Yeah. There's the Jormungandr plush which you talked about.
Yeah.
You can listen to this. I read this and I'm like, I need to talk to Durwin about this because Durwin has all 9 inches of Venom statue from PlayStation from Spider-Man 2. So this is what they say here on this article: 67 inches of world serpent can be yours to own soon. The giant plush doubles as a puppet with a hidden sleeve behind his head, so you can reenact his faithful meeting with Kratos and Atreus in the Lake of Nine. The extra soft version of Jormungandr also has a magnetized tongue with a little Leviathan axe that can be kept safe.
That's pretty cool.
Inside his mouth or removed if you find someone worthy to use it. Are you going to get all 67 inches of the world serpent?
Probably not. Yeah. That's friggin' long. That's 5 feet. That's as long as like some sort of short human.
That's 5'7" inches, dude.
Yeah, it's more than.
Yeah, that's like average height. Yeah. And then also they have this vinyl collection. Pre-orders are opening up soon for that. For
when is it? March 20th?
God of War 2 and 3. Yeah, it's like it has everything.
Wow,
13 disc limited edition vinyl set spanning God of War to God of War Ragnarok. Every single game. That's crazy.
And also a t-shirt.
T-shirts. T-shirts.
Nothing special. Dude, you know what I was looking at in terms of merch? Something also like ridiculously long and huge. Like the 9 inches of Venom. So I don't know if people know, but like I love Jurassic Park, and Lego has recently put out a new Lego kit for their T-Rex.
Oof!
Do you know how long it is. I think it's like 36 inches, like
Oof.
lengthwise.
Are you a Lego person?
I'm not a Lego person. I'm a Gundam person. So like I guess like I probably would love building it. But man, I was like, do I buy this? But also where do I put this?
How
It's
exp-
huge.
how expensive are those Lego sets? They're wild.
Yeah, that one was like 200 and something or 300 or something like big oof. And then if you dude, it sucks if you lose a piece. I guess you could contact Lego and they'll send you a new one.
I'm
But like if you miss a piece, man, it sucks hard.
sure you could get away with it depending on the piece. I used to love Legos when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely changed now. Like Legos back then and Legos now,
How so?
completely different story.
How so?
Like just the amount of design that goes into each kit, like the cars and stuff. There was no such thing as that as a kid. You were
Oh,
just given like a bunch of blocks.
it's more intricate.
Yeah, it's way more intricate now. And then the pricing is like insane.
Yeah.
Like
You
some
just
of these dead stock Lego kits go for like thousands of dollars. But it's like resale, right?
maybe I'll just play Lego Horizon instead.
Oh, there's tons of deals recently with the spring sale. I think Lego Horizons in Canada went down to like $55.
Oh, I'm not paying that much for that game.
Yeah.
More like 20. Moving on to more Sony news. PlayStation is apparently yet to announce another live service multiplayer game.
Wonderful.
This is speculation, of course, but for those who don't know, a lot of people try and decipher what's going on at specific studios by snooping on their job listings. So there's a job listing that was out that talking about this game that is set to be a live service multiplayer game. Team is eager to introduce competitive gaming esports landscape into the title. So, that tells you all you need to know. It's being done in Unreal Engine. It'll be on multi-platform, PC, console, and mobile. Very, very early in the game development cycle. This might be Jason Blundell's new game too, which I think they talked about in 2023. He started a new studio under PlayStation Studios and Sony. But honestly, at this point, just speculation. I just added this because, I'm like, what do you think, man? Like, are these people going to still keep trying this?
I mean, they canceled as many as they're announcing, so
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Just keep trying. There's another, I don't know if this is the same story or potentially or something different, but new documents have revealed that People Can Fly and Sony Interactive Entertainment have signed a deal to create a prototype from a game based on Sony's IP. So this is basically third party developed. Well, it's basically a second party game. It's being published by Sony, but being developed by a third party.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. People Can Fly is the developer of. Do you remember Outriders? Came out
That was some like biking game, right?
No,
Was it
you're
mountain biking?
no. You're thinking about that Ubi
Outriders is some sort of
shooter.
co-op.
Yeah, you're thinking when you said biking, you're thinking about probably that Ubisoft extreme sports game that came out recently. What's it called?
Yeah, I'm probably thinking about that one.
Yeah. Yeah, so 2021 they released Outriders. They are currently actually co-developing Gears of War ED with the coalition at Xbox Game Studios. We know that's confirmed for sure. They're working on a project Victoria, Bifrost, Bison, Echo, and Delta. This is the game they're doing with Sony. They also do VR games. 2024 they released Bulletstorm VR, and in 2022 they did Green Hell VR. Apparently, they just announced that they're done with VR as well, just this week. They said, we're not doing VR anymore. So, curious to see what this is going to be. It might not be a live service game. This might not be the same live service game, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Sony, yeah. So, moving on to some better news. Split Fiction 2, or Split Fiction. There's no Split Fiction 2. It Takes Two, too. Split Fiction has now sold 2 million copies in its first week. Another
Within
milestone.
48 hours, right?
Well, I think it was 1 million within 48 hours and then 2 million in a week.
Yeah. 2 million 1 week. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So congratulations to Hazelight Studio. I am playing Split Fiction, as you know, and I am loving it. Loving it, playing with my wife. Right now, on March 6th, it had 230, or peak concurrent players on Steam is 259,000. Really good. The last game sold like crazy. I think it sold like 25 million copies, I want to say. 23 million units worldwide as of March 2025. That's really good. Like, if Dragon Age the Veilguard sold that much, they'd be talking about, hiring 100 people for go full production on the next Dragon Age. Yeah, so congratulations to Hazelight Studios. I saw something hilarious online. There is a part in this game very early on, so it's not really spoilers, where this is a co-op game, and sometimes you guys are doing different things with your co-op buddy, and you need to do them simultaneously to get something done. There's a part in the game where you're on a motorcycle. One person's driving the motorcycle, and one's trying to disarm the motorcycle on like a phone, right? And they have to go through that thing where it's like, when you're like trying to like log into something, and it's like, how many cats are in? Click the squares that have cats in them, or
Yeah.
whatever. So you're doing that. I don't know, because I didn't manage to do this myself, but if you do something, you take too long, or something happens, somebody calls you on the phone, and you swipe it, and you're talking to the studio head, Joseph Ferris, on the phone, and he proceeds to insult you in Arabic, and he's like, where's my bike? Why didn't you give me my bike? I literally saw this online, and I am laughing my head off, bro. This guy is dropping like the worst profanities ever in Arabic on this thing. Like, brutal. I'm not even going to repeat them to you, because like I literally can't say this on the show. Like, crazy. And I just laughed my head off, bro. I was like, this is insane that he bought this into this. For people who don't know, he's the one who when he went up one time at the Game Awards, and he's like, F the Oscars. Remember that famous clip? Like, he's wild anyway. But yeah, I saw that. I'll tell you about this clip after, but it was hilarious. So that is Split Fiction. Ori developer Moon Studios goes fully independent with No Rest to the Wicked, and will finish No Rest to the Wicked without Take-Two. So just to backtrack a little bit, Take-Two recently scrapped their Private Division label, which is their indie label, if you recall. Laid off a bunch of people. Some IPs got sold, I think. Like, I think maybe the Roll 7 IPs, Ollie World and Roller Drome. But a lot of people got laid off. For whatever reason, Take-Two decided to hold on to Moon Studios and No Rest for the Wicked. Moon Studios are previously developed Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which are excellent Metroidvanias, 2D Metroidvanias, which were previously like Xbox exclusives, but I think they're on Switch as well now. Yeah, so they're working on No Rest for the Wicked, which is like, I don't want to call it a Diablo-like, but it's kind of like a Diablo-like, except you have a little bit more control over the combat. It's more like intricate. This game went into open access early last year, around April. It's still in early access. Take-Two said, we're going to retain this one, but I guess Moon Studios saw maybe writing on the wall, and they're like, we don't want to risk it. They're fully independent now. They secured the publishing rights to the game. So good for them. I mean, honestly, more power to them. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 3 is now officially in development. The developer is still pledging that they're going to keep updating Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 like they said they would. But yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
I mean, I think this one will sell well. We'll see.
I mean, people, I personally, I didn't like this game that much. I didn't think it was, I thought it had a very good core, very good base to work around, but I just felt like it was a little content shy, even though it had 3 different game modes. The multiplayer was kind of annoying because we couldn't play crossplay with our friend, and it was just like a limited number of maps and stuff. The raid mode where you just keep doing missions over and over again, I just couldn't. I can't keep doing missions over again on the same world and just doing them on different difficulties or whatever. campaign was a little bit short. Didn't really care about the story, but people like the game nonetheless, and I thought it was a decent game at least. So, and it got good reviews. So, yeah, sold 4 million copies. And at the time, I actually struggled with trying to buy a copy because they're sold out everywhere. But yeah,
I mean,
good
you
for them.
could be struggling to find a copy next time, at
Yeah.
least a physical one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Probably we'll skip this when it eventually comes up. Or, maybe I'll try it. Depends. But yeah, good for them. And happy for any Space Marine fans out there. Rainbow Six Siege X, which is this new game mode that they introduced to the game, hoping to breathe some new light into the shooter. But it's not Rainbow Six Siege 2. There's this, it's like a new game mode, improvements to the 5v5. I heard it's like a little bit more faster. So if you're into Siege, I'm not into Siege. I played Siege like for a few weeks years ago. Not really my type of game, but if you are and you've been kind of falling off a little, they got this new thing going on. I can't really seem to understand exactly what this mode is. The 6v6 dual front, which is designed to provide a new tactical experience for long-term players. I heard this game was pretty toxic too. If you go and you have no idea what's going on.
I mean, I don't know what's going on, and this article seems very toxic to me.
Star Wars Hunters is shutting down in October.
What is Hunters again?
It is a mobile game that came out like middle of last year. It's like a hero shooter, I think. It's almost like Marvel Rivals, but it's
got like the Fortnite-esque branding.
Yeah,
like the title.
Yeah, you could play as Boba Fett. You could play as like a Wookiee here, some type of Jedi unknown, stormtrooper.
Is that a robot Jedi? It does look like a robot Jedi.
Yeah. Anyway, I haven't tried this game. I'm pretty sure it was PC only. Yeah, online servers will be shut down on October 2025. Man, these are like a dime a dozen now. The amount of live service games we hear about, that even if they come out to like good reviews or they come out to like a high concurrent player count, they're gone, man. They're gone within 8 months. Yeah. They can't keep them, man. X Defiant, this. I'm trying to think of anything. There's this other game we'll talk about later in the show here.
Should we just talk about that now? I feel like
I guess
it ties directly into it.
So there's this game that's shutting down called Spectre Divide, which is also like a play on. It was supposed to be like a play on Valorant. It came out, I think, 8 months ago. It actually had very good concurrent player counts when it first dropped. It had more than 110,000. Oh, no, sorry. Spectre Divide had 26,000. But yeah, it's gone. This story is Fragpunk, which is also a free-to-play, seems like a tactical shooter with this card-based system that's kind of cool. It was kind of on my radar, but they delayed the console release the day before it was supposed to come out, which was last Thursday, so I haven't had a chance to play it. They comment on this announcement from Spectre Divide CEO on Twitter, and they put this picture of Captain America. It's like a meme. It's like, so you messed up while I can do it all day. Like, that's wild. Like, whoever's in charge of the Fragpunk Twitter, I mean, watch out, buddy. You never know when you're going to get shut down next, especially the way things are going.
Yeah, it's funny that video game companies can't do this, but Wendy's can like troll people all day long.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's pretty sad, like a studio shutting down, and then you like literally go and taunt them. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, I guess it's different. Like Wendy's is like some shitty fast food restaurant. Like it can be snarky.
Some people
I guess
swear by Wendy's. Some people swear by
Dude,
Wendy's.
I actually do like Wendy's a lot.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, I honestly, I can't find any fast food that I like hate, to be honest. Like maybe it's the peasant in me. There's really no fast food I really won't eat.
Bro, peasants usually they just starve. They don't eat fast food.
That's true.
That's the peasant trope. Listen, if these games want to stay active and keep making money so that they could keep it going forever and be a live service game, they just got to do what EA Skate's doing. And reportedly, there's some in-game microtransactions that go for £99. Is that euros? That's pounds.
Is that pounds?
Yeah. So Escape, which doesn't have a full release date yet. I don't know how they found out, but
This is a
internally,
beta, isn't it?
I don't even know. It's not even an open beta if it is.
Dude, yeah, I was reading this because I was like, oh my god, it's a closed alpha test.
Yeah. There's microtransactions for 99 British pounds, which is insane.
Yeah, it's a range from like $5 to 99.
I think this game is supposed to be free to play. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a range
so
from 5 to 99. Yeah.
did you read the full article about how like they were just using this to test
Test
like
the water.
to test the waters and like to test that microtransactions were working properly. And then basically like once you have spent that money, when it actually does go live, then all the things that you've bought basically gets refunded. You get your money back as a credit so
In
that you can
game.
spend on the game.
Yeah.
It's like, why didn't you just make it like in-game currency so that people aren't dumping money into this game that they're testing for you, really?
More power to them, man. Whatever. I don't know about this game. This game's been in like development hell. I feel like we keep hearing about it, and I don't know. Just play
Man.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yeah, just they want people locked in.
Wait for
Yeah. Spend that money and never get it back.
I don't know, man. I tried to think of a segue for this, but I can't. I don't have one. Netflix Games' first boss has reportedly left the company months after switching roles to focus on AI. So for whoever who knows, Netflix basically did this whole thing maybe a year now ago, where they said we're going to get into gaming.
Yeah, I think it was January. I remember reading that quote. It was like January from 2024.
Yeah. So they bought a bunch of small indie studios. They did this Netflix for gaming thing. So if you have a Netflix account, you have access to these games. They're mostly on mobile, I believe. They haven't really hopped over to console or anything. So basically, you could go on for example, I have an iPhone, go on the Apple Store, and you could type in Netflix games. It's not like there's one launcher or one app that lets you see where all the games are, but it's a bunch of games, and they'll have the Netflix logo on the bottom. So, like, I'm even searching Netflix games now. Monument Valley, that's probably one of the better ones, to be honest with you. That actually dropped as a Netflix exclusive. There's a bunch of games. Some of these are like Too Hot to Handle 3 or whatever.
Yeah, Love is Blind. So you can find real love on a mobile game.
There's a Civ 6 Platinum Edition on Netflix. There's a Squid Game on Netflix.
There's GTA.
Squid Game. Is there? There
yeah,
is.
Remember?
Yeah, the GTA trilogy. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Hades is on it too. So you could play these games on your phone if you have a Netflix account subscription. Then they said they were going to try to get into AAA gaming. They had a development studio that was working on a AAA game. I can't remember who the head was, but there were some industry legends. They shut that studio down last year. I think we reported about that as well.
Yeah, like end of the year.
And now this Mike Verdeau, who left the Netflix leadership role last November to focus on generative AI, he's also gone. Yeah. And we also reported that Netflix laid off multiple workers at Oxenfree, which was the first development studio that they bought. Or sorry, not Oxenfree. It's Night School Studio. The game is Oxenfree. So good job, Netflix. Keep it up. Hideaki Kamiya, on leaving Platinum Games, says, I couldn't allow myself to kill my soul. Praises Shinji Mikami for inspiring his career. That's pretty intense. In recent interview with GameSpark, he's the Bayonetta creator, discussed his new studio Clover and disputed similarity to the now defunct Clover Studio, which is the Capcom studio that originally developed Okami, which he worked on. And anyway, it's kind of interesting. The old Okami studio that shut down, he named his new studio after it. Anyway, goes through this long interview, talks about some upcoming games he's interested in, talks about what he wants to work on. We did hear some reports that there's been a mass exodus of some lead producers and directors and writers at Platinum Games who kind of all left en masse following, some internal struggle with the company. And a lot of them starting their own thing. A lot of them got shut down themselves. But more power to him. And our last little story for the week, I thought this was funny. Roblox CEO's advice to worried parents: don't let your kids on the platform. One bad incident is too many, says the Roblox boss.
Aren't kids like the main
Dude, this game
the
is.
main group population that's on this
Have you
platform?
have you looked into this game, dude? It's pretty bad.
Dude,
It's
Roblox has been like a game that's been like up and going for like years and years. It's really old, isn't it? It's just that they have like different like mini games that you can play on there, right?
and people develop in Roblox,
Yeah.
and there's like basically young developers out there, kid developers that are making these levels in Roblox, and the Roblox companies just monetizing off of them, even though they did
Yeah.
nothing. But the
Dude, it
problem,
was 2006 it released.
bro, there's just straight up, yo, there's pedophiles on this game. That's what he's saying. There's legit pedophiles on this game that try to like groom kids, and they make like little freaking pedophile games that your kid could be in. Don't give your kid this game. Don't like listen. The CEO is saying this. I'm telling you this. If you're listening to this and you have little kids, bro, don't put them on Roblox. It's just not a good idea. You don't put them on online gaming in general. Honestly, your kid does not need to be online. You don't know what's on the other side of that screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give them a Game Boy Advance. Those are sick.
straight up, man. Like they don't need to play these games. Like I know, I see. Have you seen these Roblox kids on their iPads, bro? With their like asses sticking up in the air while they're like on a couch on this iPad playing hours of Roblox, doing some stupid like, dude, there's like straight up pedos on that game. It's just open access to the internet. You don't know who's on the other side of this, and it's all kids there. It's like the Club Penguin pedos, bro. Back in the
Mm.
day, it's just not, bro. I'll tell you off air, bro. When I saw a mod one time, it's just like imagine
Unspeakable.
unspeakable. Like imagine your kid sees this. Stay away from Roblox. That is it for news stories for the week of March. What week is it? March 13? March 10. Today
March
is
10th.
March 16. uh Durwin, do you want to tell us what you've been playing this last week?
Hold on. Why don't we take a mini break? Because
Okay.
I have to do my meeting.
Oh, you
And
got a work meeting?
yeah, I got a work meeting in 4 minutes.
Okay. All right.
I'll hit pause. We'll take a break. I'm gonna grab some food because I'm like actually starving.
Okay. I am starving too, but I
Yeah,
can grab
and
food.
I think we can do the next part in like 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Take a break. Go get some water.
I'm fasting, bro. I ain't drinking water. I ain't eating nothing.
Go get some fake water, air water.
I'm gonna just drink air.
All right, right
We are
back into it.
back. Durwin, tell me what you've been playing this week.
So last week we talked about Death Stranding 2, and I was trying to get us synced into a game that we could both review.
Yeah.
But it looks like you were too busy, so I jumped into it. I had the week off, so played quite a few hours of it. I'll
Death Stranding
recap
1.
on
You're playing
Death Stranding 1.
Yeah, yeah. Before Death Stranding 2 comes
You
out.
wish I was that close to
Yeah.
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
Maybe not too close, you know. I don't want a Jeffrey Epstein situation going on.
And Jeffrey Kojima. Hideo Epstein.
Yeah. So yeah, Death Stranding. For those that don't know, you'd have to be living under a rock and not gaming to not know what it is. But basically, it is a game that Hideo Kojima worked on immediately after getting, well, I guess like leaving
Konami.
the Konami and the whole like Metal Gear Solid franchise. So this is like his brainchild, I guess. So you play as Sam Bridges, which is Norman Reedus's character, and you're just a carrier. You're an Amazon delivery driver that is just tasked with connecting the remaining cities of the U.S.
in like a post-apocalyptic world.
in a
almost.
post-apocalyptic world. So the critiques at the time for reviews that came out was that it's basically like a walking simulator or like Postman simulator. And I totally agree. Like like I'm so many hours into this game and like there are weapons that you can like eventually unlock. But like man, it is basically like hey, I'm going to strap a bunch of weight onto my back and just carry it around from city to checkpoint basically.
Very physics-based too. If you stack them too high and you do the wrong thing, then you're falling over your face.
Yeah, it's pretty funny actually. Like seeing like all this weight strapped to him, and he's just like, like leaning to one side. I'm like, dude, this is so bad for your back. You've got like a year tops in this position.
Um, I guess probably I, I've heard this. I haven't played
Hmm.
Death Stranding. I've heard this, and I know this is never a good thing to say about a game. Just keep playing. Have you heard the? Just keep playing. It gets good at like hour 40. I heard it gets good after chapter 3. Whether I can't remember if it's chapter 3 moving forward gets good or chapter 4 moving forward gets good. I'm not sure, but I've heard that on the street. So if you really want to keep playing till chapter
Yeah, yeah.
4,
So I was actually kind of confused with all the concepts because, like, dude, the things that Hideo Kojima thinks of is just
yeah,
just like the craziest stuff. So yeah, I was kind of confused. I'm like, I can't stand like not understanding what this whole story is. So I basically watched a few videos on YouTube explaining the whole story, and I like completely understand it
from beginning to end.
from beginning to end. It explains like what these five like entities are, like who Norman Reedus's character really is, who his sister really is, um, why Mads Mikkelsen suddenly shows up in all these flashbacks, like the whole thing. And like I can understand why people are so like obsessed with this story because it's such a like an interesting story behind like the whole like why the apocalypse has happened and all that stuff. But like, dude, for you to play like that many hours in this game, walk around delivering packages and connecting the network is insane to me.
That's a pretty long game too. Yeah.
Like, it's not like short distances that you have to walk sometimes, like especially if you're like kind of trying to like mess with the system and like try and do all these things. Like you're strapping like so much weight and you have to like slowly like step by step by
I,
step
th-
by
I thought
step.
that I thought they added like quality of life features to the director's cut where you can there's like a motorcycle
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
like shortcuts.
Yeah,
And isn't there like
you
an
can
online functionality where people like
mhm.
build bridges and stuff to like
Yeah,
teach you?
so yeah, the bikes do eventually unlock, so that is like kind of a nice thing. And then yeah, the online feature is kind of interesting. So you and other players, once you have kind of unlocked the area, it like all the stuff opens up and you can like drop a bridge and people will like be able to use it to like walk across things or like ropes and ladders and stuff. So it does like improve like your traversal. You're not like forced to like walk into like super high water. You can just like take this guy's ladder.
Yeah.
And you can like leave likes and all that stuff. But like, man, is it like kind of a boring game?
Yeah. I don't know. My friend bought it at the time when it came out and he played it a little bit and I watched him play it, but I did kind of get that vibe where I'm like, what is this game exactly?
Yeah,
Just
like
walking around.
most of the game you're spending like balancing yourself out.
The
So
thing
like
is,
if you like
I play a lot of walking simulators. Like, I don't care. I'll play a walking simulator if it's good. But 40 hours as a walking simulator is pretty steep.
yeah. And like the environment is like cool, but it's not like that cool.
Oh, I don't know. That Death Stranding 2, that trailer, that seemed to have some
Yeah.
crazy environments.
I do have to say like like the cutscenes with like the characters interacting, like you can see where all like the production value,
Mm,
like the like all the like the what's it called? The motion capture and stuff. Like
yeah.
great. Like Mads Mikkelsen looks like
Mads
basically
Mikkelsen.
like Mads Mikkelsen in real life.
Yeah.
So like I do enjoy that aspect of it. I just wish that like, you
That
weren't
game.
like literally just walking around
So,
everywhere.
so my question for you is then you're not, if you know the story, I can't imagine you're going to play this game.
No, there's no chance. Like the whole time as I was like playing this walking game, like, dude, I could be playing Avowed right now.
Okay. And then you're not, are you gonna or not gonna play Death Stranding 2 then?
I think I'm gonna take a look at the reviews. It seems like I don't know. People are speculating on the subreddit that the use of lethal weapons might be like a bigger part of the gameplay. So like I'm hopeful that it actually like
It's gonna be gunplay
he,
or whatever.
yeah, he steps away from just literally having it as a walking simulator and having a little bit more action. Um I mean, I will tell you what I will for sure do. As I'm gonna Google what the storyline is for Death Stranding 2 after after people have played it, because I do want to like I'm interested in the story, like it's a very like fascinating story, so I do want to know like what happens.
So you're
And
50-50 on about actually playing it, but you're 100% on about finding out what happens.
yeah, because I honestly I think this is like a very interesting concept for like a movie,
Yeah.
but like for a video game, like a 50-hour video game, that's rough.
Any other thoughts on Death Stranding?
No. I think that summarizes it for me in terms of my experience with it. Um, but yeah,
Have you been playing anything else?
no, that is literally what I've sunk all my time into.
No Avowed.
No Avowed,
Are you
but
gonna go
I'm
back
gonna
to Avowed?
probably go back to it. Yeah,
How are you feeling? Still in the second world?
yeah. I haven't gotten any further because I literally at the beginning of this week just started Death Stranding.
Death
I was like,
Stranding.
I'm just gonna focus and try and get like as many hours into it. But yeah, I just not feeling it.
Fair enough.
Tell me about Split Fiction.
I
Have you
don't
played
have.
more?
I've played more Split. Okay, so I've played more Split Fiction. I've played a little bit more Monster Hunter. I don't think it's worth talking about either of them right now. I kind of already mentioned them last episode, so you could listen to that episode if you want to hear my initial thoughts. I haven't gotten further into the games to express more of my thoughts. Split Fiction, I'm very positive on. I played it co-op with my wife, and sometimes like we're not playing every night. So there's days where she's busy, she's tired, she doesn't want to play, or she does want to play. So we're probably averaging like 3 nights or 2 nights a week, 2 nights a week. So I figured by the time I actually roll credits on this game, it's going to be a while. Like I'm just going to play this whenever I can with my wife and go back to playing other things when I'm not playing Split Fiction. But so far, I love it. It's more Hazelight Studios, is more Joseph Ferris. It's great co-op play, very intricately designed, and it makes it feel so important to play kind of co-op in unison. It's not just a game where you could play it in single player and then you could just split a screen and add another person. No, like everything kind of works together, meshes together. We did the first sci-fi world and we are now in the first fantasy world, and we did like the first side mission in the fantasy world. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's good, it's great. I don't know, people complained about the writing. I remember in the review period, I haven't gone far enough to see if the story altogether in the end is good enough or not, but I don't really care that much. It's serviceable.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's
I think
Split.
for that type of game, it's not really like so much the story. It's like how the
It's a
gameplay kind
gameplay.
of,
Yeah,
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 and how you work together to solve problems and stuff.
yeah. Monster Hunter Wilds is not looking as good. I had two buddies that were playing it with me. One of them immediately bailed out. I'm not blaming him. He was playing on PC. It's rough. And we were kind of on the fence. So he's like, you guys are already on the fence. And it's kind of rough on PC. And he really wants to play endgame stuff. He wants to go in. I told him straight up, I probably won't. I will probably just play the story and move on. So
Mhm.
he kind of bailed. So then me and my other buddy, we both played. We had like one bad session the first day. Then we kind of figured out the co-op and we kind of enjoyed it a little. We played one more time after that. The problem is it's just a tough time scheduling to play co-op with him.
Yeah,
It's been rough. Like it's like I'll go on and sometimes by the time I could get on, it's already a little late. So maybe I don't know, he's getting ready to go to sleep. He has to put his kid to bed. His kid has a different sleep schedule than my kid. It's been
yeah,
tough too, especially with Ramadan and both of us fasting. It's been kind of
yeah,
inconvenient to
and
schedule
and you
something.
can't leave them behind, right? Because then you can't play
That's the
co-op as
problem.
well.
Yeah, like I could just go and play more of the story, right? But then it's like we have to like go back and play the story again. It's kind of weird. So it's like I
Would it be a different story if you guys are both at end game stuff? Because then you could just go on
but yeah,
hunts.
if we were both at end game, it wouldn't matter. If I hop in and play by myself, I hop in and play in a random lobby. I hop in and play with another friend. He hops in and plays. It'll just be a convenience thing. Like whenever I feel like it and he feels like it at the same time, we'll play. But it's just the idea. It's like, well, I don't want to get ahead in the story, and he doesn't. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to end up sticking with it at this rate, especially considering some of the releases that are coming out. I'll still keep trying, but we'll see how this next week goes. I think this next week is going to be Telltale.
I mean, this week is Shadows, so.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to pick that up, though, day one. Just because, honestly, because Ubisoft puts their games on sale 2 weeks after
basically,
they come out.
in like
I'm not paying $90 for it, even if it's good. And I probably will play it anyway, just because I am like an Assassin's Creed OG, and I've played literally almost all the Assassin's Creeds to completion. The only ones I haven't actually finished are well, Mirage I haven't played, but I haven't finished Valhalla or Odyssey just because they're so big, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably end up picking it up. But all of that aside, I have another game that I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about Split Fiction. I don't want to talk about Monster Hunter Wilds. I am excited to talk on this episode about Mullet Madjack. Mullet Madjack is a single-player, first-person shooter roguelite that came out May of last year, only on Microsoft Windows, so it was a PC-only release, right? It got good reviews. I saw trailers for it. I saw the art style. I was immediately like into it. It won, I think, some indie awards or got nominated for some indie awards this year and last year. And it just released on Xbox Series X and S this last Thursday and onto Game Pass day one. So I was like, okay, let's go. I finally get to try this game. This game is a cyberpunk-esque, like a Japanese cyberpunk, Acura, retro style, hand-drawn, anime cartoonish, like first-person roguelite where fast-paced Doom shooter. It's, bro, I love the art style. I love the vibe. I love the gunplay. It's amazing. You basically are just this badass guy. It feels so 90s. You're this badass guy who's going to save this princess, which is just this waifu. And you have to go through 82 floors. And you get a checkpoint only every 10 floors. Okay. It also depends on the difficulty level you're playing. There is a super hard ultimate difficulty level whereby you have to do the whole thing on one run. And you go through these floors and it's fast, action packed. You have 10 seconds to live. After 10 seconds of inactivity, you die. You have to constantly be killing people or drinking like soda cans to get your health back. And depending on the way you kill the enemies, you get more time score. And you have to keep that score up. Every time you take damage, the time score goes down, or the time score goes down random, like naturally as time passes. Mm-hmm. And you have to run through these levels, like run. I'm telling you, through these levels, and make it to the end. At the end of every 10th floor, there's a boss. You fight the boss, you get a checkpoint to the next 10 floors, and every floor that you beat, it's like a roguelite. So you get access to a choice of one of 3 upgrades. So you start off with your base pistol and you hit one floor. It's like, oh, you get 30% more chance of ricochet or some roguelite stuff. Or you get this shotgun weapon. And it's just go, 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 go. Like to get a winning run, to win like 10 floors, to beat a chapter, we're talking like 7 minutes of gameplay, right? It's go, 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 go. But like you keep dying and you start over again and you do a different run and you get something different. This game is so fun. It is wonderful. I'm having so much fun with this. If you're on Xbox Game Pass and any of this sounds interesting to you, or you're just on Xbox in general, I would be surprised if you're on Xbox and not on Game Pass. Then like pick this game up, dude. It is so fun. It is insane, wicked. Like the whole joke is like there's like a robot AI universe and humans are now like wired to like need dopamine every 10 seconds or they'll die. So this game really does give you dopamine like every 10 seconds and you're like, or else you'll die. So it's
funny.
Yeah. I can keep playing it, probably finish it. Yeah. I mean, I've been looking forward to this game. I was just waiting for a console release. And when they announced the Game Pass games for the month, and I saw it on there. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. It does have a PlayStation release scheduled for May, so you could wait for that. Probably maybe a Switch release too. And yeah, it's so good. There's other games like this, but I haven't played one that's this good. There's a game called Angerfoot that came out last year that's also kind of similar to this, which I thought would have been more interesting than this when I first saw it. But Angerfoot didn't review as well. It still reviewed pretty good, but didn't review as well. There's this game called Post Void that I also played, which is like the same idea, but it's psychedelic. Yeah, dude, bro, try it. If you're on PC, you're on Steam, also try it. I think it was like $15 on Steam when I checked.
Nice.
And it's meant more for mouse and keyboard. Like you could tell there's no like aim assist or whatever. It'll probably be easier to play on mouse and keyboard. Yeah. That is Mullet Madjack. Great game. Cannot recommend it enough.
Nice.
Have you been watching anything?
Man, I started the new Disney Daredevil series, so that's like the new one that came out. I haven't watched the latest episode, but that one's just okay. That's why I was like, when you said like your story about your blind,
Yeah, that's what
your
Daredevil
blind,
came to mind. Uncle,
yeah,
grand
great
uncle.
uncle. I was just instantly like Daredevil.
Yeah.
I've watched Princess Mononoke for the first time ever. That's
Oh,
like a Studio
really?
Ghibli one. Yeah.
Studio Ghibli, right?
Yeah, Studio Ghibli, yeah.
Oh,
Because they were re-releasing like into theaters. So I was like, oh, I've never watched it before. And yeah, decided to give that a watch. That's basically like Pocahontas slash Avatar to me. Like save the environment.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
a classic 1997.
Mm-hmm. How about you?
I have been watching. I just got into it. Well, I finished the first season, but everybody keeps swearing by the show. The White Lotus.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just finished season 1 last night. I haven't started season 2. I know season 3 is airing right now. It's been on my radar for a while. I didn't like it. I don't understand what the hype was about. I didn't think that was a very interesting show. I was damn near bored till about episode 5. I mean, don't listen to me. I mean, it's like 8 out of 10 on IMDb, but
Yeah. Not your thing.
Dude, it was just like I've just felt like there's a bunch of characters. They were doing like cliche rich person things, like cliche. It's like, okay, I see the writing on the wall. I know exactly where this story's gonna go. I exactly see how this is gonna unfold, and it unfolded. I'm like, oh, cool, whatever. It wasn't that interesting to me, especially the earlier parts of the season, the build up, like the first 4-ish episodes. I'm like, yo, bro, just cut to the chase. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I think the next series that's like on my list, I really need to like actually like reset. Actually, I watched another TV series last week. I watched The Madness on Netflix. That was interesting. It was basically just about some guy who finds some right-wing nut murdered at their cabin, and it's just like obviously like social commentary, etc., etc. It was all right. But the next one on my radar is Severance, actually.
Severance, bro. Severance is wild. Yeah, Severance is on my radar too, for sure.
Yeah. I've heard so many good things. Only the season 1 ends on like some crazy cliffhanger that people like waited 3 years to find out what happened.
Was it 3 years or was it 2? I feel like
I think it was like 2 or 3 or something like that. It was like a crazy long time. So I'm excited that I don't have to wait for that long for cliffhanger. Hopefully season 2 doesn't end on some sort of weird cliffhanger.
Probably will, bro.
Man.
Probably will. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
My
3 years. 3 years. Severance came out in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think probably next on my radar because it's March and I don't have that much time to watch TV in between gaming. It's probably I'm just gonna wait till The Last of Us 2 comes out and then Andor season 2.
Yep.
Those are
less than 1 month now.
Yeah.
April 14th.
I am excited. Yeah. Anyway, that's all the game talk we have for you this week. Another 2-hour episode. Well, let's just accept that's what this podcast is going to be, bro. We can't do this in an hour. Folks, thanks for joining us. It would be much appreciated if you are enjoying what you're hearing, if you could like and subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And we're on video on Spotify and YouTube, of course. And like us on Instagram, all at the Slow Run Cast. Stay tuned for more, man. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a busy year. More video game news, more Ubisoft stuff, more Nintendo stuff.
More of Mo's unfulfilled promises of games he'll never play.
Yeah. It doesn't help that the time I can play is usually the time I also do this podcast.
Yeah. Or he'll get sidetracked by an indie release or a release that is leaving Xbox.
Yeah, Mullet Madjack, baby. Play it. I have some more indies for you next week, too. Some more indies on my radar. Yeah. Indie games, baby.
All right.
That's the way to go. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Peace.